So what is a porn addiction? All right. A lot of men and women don't associate the word addiction or addict with the word porn. And a lot of people then also have their own perception on what porn is. So the definition of porn is anything visual that you are sexually stimulated by. It used to be that it was anything nude or sexual, but thanks to Instagram and TikTok and OnlyFans and all of those types of things, we now have what we call soft porn. If you're masturbating to porn or soft porn or photos of women in bikinis, then we classify that as porn. So you can't just go from, oh, well, I'll just masturbate over, you know, my friend's photo on Facebook, and that's no longer porn. It's still a visual aid, okay? So if it's a visual aid, the other thing that also falls into this category now is erotic pornography in terms of, writing, and there's also verbal stuff as well. So it's kind of a big bucket now and a big umbrella, and it never used to be that way. So that's what porn is. Watching porn more than once a month or more is classified as a porn addiction. It's classified as watching it regularly, which means that you are actually have some kind of addiction going on in the brain. Now that's at one end of the scale. If you're masturbating once a month and watching porn once a month, you absolutely hands down have a porn addiction, because you can't masturbate without it. You say you can and you don't, and you probably can't. And when we say you can't masturbate without porn, it either means you have erectile dysfunction. My battery's going flat, yay. You have erectile dysfunction. When you try and masturbate without it, you can't get stimulated at all. So things, just don't happen for you. So that's what a porn addiction is. My battery's going to go flat before I have a chance to do all of this today. So I'll just cover this part, and then we'll save the rest for the interview. So the porn addiction is common amongst teens now more than ever. And kids are watching it as young as 5, and I treat guys in their 70s and 80s. So it doesn't discriminate who it actually affects. And the reason for porn addiction is the access. Okay, so you can talk to a psychologist, they'll label you, say you've got childhood trauma, that's why you've got a porn addiction. I don't believe that's true. It's because you started watching it, and I'll tell you why. When you start watching porn, your brain produces a whole lot of chemicals and hormones in the body and the brain, which flood the body, make you feel good, give you tingles, make you feel horny, get like an adrenaline rush. You've got dopamine, which is the novelty drug. I like what I see, and I want to see more of it. That's what the dopamine does. The dopamine kicks in before you start watching porn, especially if you've got a behavior and cycle around it. So, for example, your wife says, I'm going out. That's when the dopamine kicks in, because you're going to go home and watch porn. You got serotonin. Serotonin is the happy hormone, so you get to feel happy when you watch porn, you get to feel excited, and you get to feel connected, which is the oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Bonding hormone is produced in high levels in women that just give birth, so they can bond with the baby and forget that they just gave birth to a watermelon and it ripped them apart. So that's what oxytocin does. You can have it when you're making love with your partner, you can feel it when you're hugging your kids, but mostly you will feel it around the sexual stuff. When you first meet someone, when you're first dating, that's like oxytocin central, right? So when you've got all these chemicals and hormones flooding the body, it's a lot, and the brain can't handle it, and it has to change itself to accommodate for all these extra chemicals and hormones. Okay, so when it does that, it has to change itself, and that's called neuroplasticity, or rewiring the brain. And teenagers, boys, your brain is developing until 27 years old. So it's or 22. Sorry, I don't know which one it is right now. And so therefore you're damaging your brain before it even has a chance to develop. So this is the biggest problem that we're dealing with now, is the young ones, right? So that's what's happening in the brain. You get tunnel vision as well, which is created by opiates, which is a whole lot of other chemicals and hormones going on. So tunnel vision means if mum's coming down the hallway and you're getting close to orgasm, you're not going to stop. You're just going to go faster, right? So you've got this tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is also, I've got depression and this is the only time I feel good, and I'm just going to stay in this tunnel. And then when it's over, you go back to feeling depressed and you feel worse. So that's what is happening in the brain. And when you release the chemicals and hormones, you have a hit and then you have a crash. The crash is when the chemicals wear off, and then prolactin goes up in the body because of that, and prolactin causes erectile dysfunction. So you're also ejaculating way too much, and ejaculation all the time, you're losing nutrients and minerals that are vital for testosterone production and keeping the prostate healthy, and you're losing chi, which is your life force energy, and so your sexual energy is actually being depleted every single time you ejaculate. Right, so you've got this hit crash situation going on, and that's what porn addiction is. It's exactly the same as a drug addiction. So your brain starts to come down off the chemicals after you've masturbated and ejaculated. It might be 2 days later, and your brain starts looking for the next fix, right? So that's why your sex drive is actually not sex drive or organic sexual energy. It's just a brain addiction that is just ticking over in your brain, and your brain is looking for the next hit. That's what a porn addiction is. It's a neural addiction. It's not a behavioral addiction. It's not a sex addiction. And every single person that I've treated for sex addiction, it's been a porn addiction that has turned into something else. Porn addiction will always turn into something else, whether it's looking at trans porn, whether it's looking at gay porn, whether it's going to public places and doing things that you wouldn't normally do, whether it's going to public toilets and being abused by or humiliated by other men, which I do know people that do these things, and then I've also researched serial killers. So it all comes back to pornography. So that's what I'm going to leave it at today. I do have a new book coming out called The Uncensored Threat: Losing Generations to Pornography, because we are, and it's from very early, like childhood years to the 80s. This is how far it spans. And when the men come in at 27 years old, I'm very excited that they're doing the work now and not waiting until they're 80, right? Because I cannot tell you, I cannot use names and I cannot tell stories too much on video. Read my book and you'll see some stories that will just make your toes curl, and you'll start to realize how important this work is and how prevalent it is in society. It's been declared a global health crisis. It's causing major problems, linking it to domestic violence, sexual assault, mental health issues, suicide, prostate cancer. Read my book, it's all in there. And yeah, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer them. Stay tuned for my actual live interview that was meant to happen today. But there's been a mix up with the times and the dates because of the international time zone, which seems to happen a lot, even though I make sure they know when we're meant to be on. So anyway, look out for that, and I'll see you all soon. If you've got any questions, let me know.